all the time at the end of the day. But in this next topic, we're going to talk about Model S and Model X. And because, we don't necessarily give that love to that vehicle as much, because I know a lot of you out there buying the Model 3 and the Model Y. But we'll talk about why I think a massive price cut is coming for the Model 3 and the Model S and the Model X. And we'll talk about why. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. We've got, of course, if you don't know, Tesla estimates and deliveries are out now for the Q1 of 2023, or production and deliveries. And there's a huge number on this. A shout out to Model 3 guy. They posed this question. Honest question, why is the S and X delivery so low? They only managed to deliver about half of production. And if you take a look at the actual numbers, they produced almost 20,000 units for Model S and X and only delivered 10,000, a little bit under 11,000 units. And so, of course, the simplest reason there is Model S and X are double the price of a Model 3 and Model Y. So, of course, at $100,000, at $90,000, not everybody can justify that vehicle. I mean, even the Model 3 and Model Y, with it being $50,000, $60,000, it could be hard to justify some of those vehicles as well. Not everybody can understand the certain prices that you don't have to pay for gas, but you still pay for electricity and things like that. And so it can certainly not make a lot of sense that at the end of the day, because when people see $1,000 payment or $1,500 a month payment, it can certainly scare a lot of people. But this actually stuck out to me because that is very low. I don't know what previous production numbers are before, but even if you go to websites like waitingfortesla.com, you can see there is a lot of Tesla Model X and Model S inventory. We can pull it up right here. So Model S and then Model X. Shout out to Matt Jung for these sites. And you can see right here, Model S inventory still is pretty high. Model X inventory also very high. And then if you filter down to the Waiting for Tesla site to see all the different inventories out there, you can see there's massive discounts. Like if you want a $10,000 off Model X, you can have it. If you want a $10,000 off Model S, you can also have it, or $7,000 off, $6,000 off. So I certainly feel like a price change or price discount is coming for the Model S and the Model X. And if you take a look at historical charts, like we're still $10,000 more higher than what the Model S refresh ever actually came out at. So in 2021, the Model S refresh came out at $79,990, $80,000 basically. And the current price right now is not at $90,000, so about a $10,000 swing. And then same thing for the Model X. When the Model X refresh came out, it was a $90,000 vehicle, and now it is a $100,000 vehicle. So if inventory keeps staying up high like this, and there's still readily available inventory for the Model S and the Model X, and these demo discounted vehicles still keep staying in inventory as well, I can certainly see a $10,000 price discount, or maybe $5,000 to $10,000 price changes between the Model S and X in the near future. So if you are waiting for to buy a Model S or Model X, it might be worthwhile to keep waiting just a little bit more, especially as we get to the last month of the next quarter. So if we're in April, May, June would be the last month of the second quarter. There is always deals at the end of the quarter. But of course, the flip side there is interest rates are continuing and will still keep going higher. So, right now a good rate I would say is 3.5 to 3.99%. I mean, 2.5 to 2.99 still exists out there if you believe it or not, especially on the Patreon link down below in the description. But those credit unions are much harder to join, much harder to get approved for. They have very strict restrictions. Like you must be one of them is, for instance, you must be of Ukrainian descent and things like that. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Do you think a price discount for the Model S or X is coming? And of course, we've got a tweet from Tesla North here. Quote, we will continue to transition to more balanced volume production for the different regional markets, which includes Model S and X that are being shipped to the EMEA, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and the Asia Pacific region. And so I guess this is an announcement from Tesla on the Weibo Chinese social media network, because it probably stuck out to a lot of people on why the Tesla Model S and X deliveries versus productions was pretty off base there. And so, I mean, Elon has definitely said in the past that, Model S and X is much lower volume. They kind of just make it just for, I don't even know what he said, but Model 3 and Model Y is their bread and butter. I mean, you can certainly see it because of how many vehicles they sell compared to the other one. But I guess Model X and X are kind of like their halo vehicle. And so that's why they should keep them around at the end of the day, because that's the aspirational vehicle. That's probably why Model 3 and Model Y sales are so strong, because people want the S and the X, but they're more reasonable and they'd rather just buy the 3 or the Y. But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me. You can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, refinancing a Tesla. So definitely check out if you're interested. Patreon link down below in the description.